Hello, welcome to Word of Wisdom. Today I picked a quote from an Asian philosopher and a great teacher, King Solomon, which says, "A fool vents all his anger, but a wise man holds it back and steals it." You can find this in Proverbs 29, the verse 11. As a matter of truth, what actually caught my attention in reading this very passage was the statement, "A fool vent all his anger." So I want us to deal with anger and how to overcome it. Let me take a short minute to explain and expand on anger. You see, anger itself is a natural emotional response to unpleasant situations. It can exhibit itself in wild forms of dislike or in a simple form of displeasure towards something or someone. That is to say that when someone does something that you dislike and it's not pleasant to your mind, your eyes, or your feeling, it can trigger anger within you. Many a times when you are faced with criticisms or you are told to do something that you feel that the person is trying to tell you are incapable, and that without him telling you or without her telling you what to do, you might not be able to do it. This can also trigger anger on the inside of you. Or when you are opposed, or when you or your loved ones are threatened, you are likely to become angry if you don't know how to handle that very situation very well. Anger is such a way that if you don't put it under control, it can cause you to react irrationally, and in the process of that, lead you to things that you shouldn't do or words you shouldn't have even said. But by the time you realize, you have already said it. However, like in Solomon said, a wise person can turn anger into a healthy and positive emotion, especially when it is used as an entrance through which solutions to challenging situations are met. That is to say that there are positive side of anger and negative side of anger. So you can make anger as a great motivator on a positive side, especially in situations where the motive is someone trying to undermine you or trying to bring you down or bring your self-worth down or to discourage you from attaining your targets, your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. In this case, you have to use anger as a motivator to prove to them that they are wrong. And you can do this without throwing a fist or engaging in insults. Because many a times when we are angry, we lash out, we bring certain things that are not really right. I once heard a story of a great theologian who has gone to be with the Lord. His name is Miles Monroe. He said when he was a young man going to school, he was termed as a dumb by his teacher, and the teacher started calling him names. You are monkey, you are dumb, you cannot go nowhere, you cannot pass your exams. And every day he goes to school, he had this in his mind, and he felt demotivated and didn't want to go to school anymore. So one day he was so upset, went home, threw his bag somewhere else, and then locked himself in a room and decided he wasn't even coming out. And whilst he was quiet and sobbing and so angry of himself, he heard a still voice telling him that rise up to your feet and take off your clothes. So he took off all his clothes, and the voice said to him, stand in the mirror. And he stood in the mirror, and then the voice asked him, which part of you is like a monkey? And he said, none of the parts of me is like a monkey. And he said, you are not monkey, you are not dumb. The only problem is that you have not turned this situation into your advantage. So henceforth, you have to rise up early, study as much as you can, and then you will improve. And he hearkened unto it. In no time, when they went for graduation, he was the best of all the students. He got all the titles and entitlements, and the same teacher that once told him, "You're a monkey, you're dumb, you cannot achieve nothing, you cannot go nowhere," was the one that was issuing the certificate. And guess what he said? He said to him, "You are the most brilliant student that has ever gone through the school." You see what anger did to him? It turned that very negative emotions into positive emotions, and then he became an achiever. That is what you can do. If you're someone disturbed by anger, you can turn it into positive. So the aim of this very message is to help you understand what anger is and how you can manage it or overcome it, especially when it creates destructive negative energy within you and threatens to tear you down and the loved ones around you. Anger comes in different ways with regards to individual differences. Why do I say so? Because there are many reasons why people get angry or become angry. Though many people who get angry quickly will justify their overreaction, but that does not negate the fact that they are having internal problems. The justification of their anger makes it right in their own eyes. So even if they feel like murdering someone or they murder someone through anger, they feel they are right in their own eyes. And that's why people with anger problems will do certain things unimaginable. And you may stand aside and think, what is wrong with this guy? In their eyes, their reaction can be justified. Why? Because they feel they have been offended, and that is why they are acting or reacting in that very mode. Listen to me very carefully. But not everyone processes anger by hitting someone or reacting aggressively. We have the sort of people who will express their anger submissively, and that is what is called passive anger. Others also direct their anger towards themselves, either by self-harming or bottling everything inside of them. Others also deny their anger or become silent, and then you see them withdrawing from people, and sometimes they can be very isolated. Sometimes you go to school, you see people very quiet and they have isolated themselves. They don't want to talk to nobody, and you may think they are quiet. No, there is a hidden anger on the inside of them. Something is going on that is not right. I remember years ago when I used to teach, there was this young girl who was very bubbly at first, but then eventually she became very extremely quiet. And one of my friend teachers called her one day and interrogated her, asked her what was going on in her life. And then she started sobbing, started tearing down. And then she said she's been raped by her own brother, but she cannot tell her mother, she cannot tell her father, because the father and the mother are very disciplinarians, and she knows if she tells them, they will finish the guy. So she was bottling everything inside of her and very quiet. Anger can devastate a person's character, life, and goals, and it can make someone stuck, frozen in their tracks, and progress will be very difficult for them. Let me say this to you. Either you bottle anger in you, or you are self-harming yourself, or you are passive angry, or you are submissive angry person. In these categories, none of these things mentioned are healthy for your reaction. So let's find a better way to get rid of it and be free, or turn it into positive energy for great production. Let me bring you to few red flags that get people angry. And if you find yourself within this very category, you need, and I must say at this very juncture, you need to seek for help, especially when these things are turning into negative emotions and making you react negatively. It can kill you, it can destroy you, it can cause so many things against your own personal self and also the people around you. I'm gonna be talking about 10 red flags that gets people angry. But that is not all. There could be more. But I'm just gonna iron out only 10 simple and common ones. Number one, when someone has gone through pain, and I'm talking about any kind of pain, all kinds of pain, that can trigger anger in somebody. When someone has gone through different types of failure and different types of fear, failure in business, failure in marriage, failure in raising children, failure in getting a job, all kinds of failure can also trigger negative emotions in a person. Grief, when someone has lost someone and they are grieving, that also can turn and trigger anger in somebody, especially when you lose a loved one or you're mourning for someone, a mother, a father, a sister, someone that you cherish so dearly. It can also trigger anger inside of you, and if care is not taken, you can lash it out onto others that are close to you. Another thing also is financial difficulties or challenges. When you go through any kind of financial challenges, you can also go through negative emotions, and this can also breed excessive anger, disappointments, embarrassments, humiliations, rejections. Even when you are hungry, it is said that a hungry man is an angry man. And that's very true. I see my children, and sometimes when they are very hungry, it turns into anger. And the last but not the least is drug abuse and alcohol. Sometimes people who are so angry take and turn onto drugs and also onto alcohol just to subdue that very anger inside of them. But it does not replace anything, it makes them worse. I'm bringing this part to a close now, but next week I'll be bringing you tips of how to overcome it. I believe this one has been a blessing to you, and if it has, I want you to share it with a brother, a sister. Go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, Bishop Melvin Langdon. God bless you. Until I come your way, I say peace. God be with you.